My life's a hot mess. I know it's right in front of me because all my products are right in front of me right here, but I can't see it and it's driving me crazy. I'm already crazy, so Jesus, take the wheel. I live by this combination. I have the hiccups and this is really inconvenient. We're back at it again with another makeup tutorial. Today I'm bringing you this full face spring look right here. I used my Bretman Rock and Colourpop Lit Palette. I absolutely love this palette. I feel like it's not talked about a lot. I don't really see it in a lot of tutorials, but it is just the most beautiful palette right here. It's a lot of warm tones, which I'm all about, and I just love these pinky tones in here, and this yellow shade is literally hot fire. So I wanted to show you guys a look with this palette for anyone that has it, and I kind of just wanted to do a glowy, lighter kind of daytime spring makeup look. I like to keep my intros relatively short, so if you guys are interested in seeing how to get this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start off with today is my skin, because this is just, it's not acceptable. My skin has been playing me. I honestly feel personally victimized by my skin lately. I've just been having breakouts and it's so frustrating because I don't know why. So if you guys have any skincare recommendations or any products that have helped you with breakouts in the past, please let me know down below because your girl needs all the help that she can get. But for primer today, I will be using this Too Faced Do You Fresh Glow Luminous Face Primer. I've used this about 2 or 3 times already and I'm actually in love with it. It smells really sweet. I think it smells really good personally, but if you don't like kind of fruity artificial scents, you won't like the smell of this. However, it just gives the skin such a nice, beautiful, dewy, luminous glow, which I've been feeling for spring. So I just used about 2 pumps on my hands here, and then I'll go in and just apply it all over my face. So you can see how that just adds such a glow to the skin. I'm just feeling it. I'm all about the glowy skin lately. I used to have super oily skin and my skin has definitely changed. Now I have a little bit more combination, so I've been able to work with more dewy, glowy products, and I'm honestly just living my best life because I just love a fresh face glow, especially in spring and summer. I'm all for it. I'm here for it. So let's see. I'm not sure what foundation I want to use today. I wish I had something like a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer. However, I don't. The closest thing I have would be this IT Cosmetics CC cream. The only thing is this is a bit more full coverage, which I'm not really going for today. However, I really love this product, so I'm going to use it anyways. Since I don't want a super full coverage, I'm just going to use 1 pump of this. That is more than enough. And I'm going to be buffing that or patting that in with my StansOut beauty sponge. I love this thing. I swear by it. It is such a game changer in my opinion. I love to use this sponge both wet and dry. I don't really have a preference. Today I'm using it wet just to add a little bit of extra moisture and also to kind of thin this foundation out just a little bit. This really doesn't absorb too much product, which I'm all about. I'm here for it. How many times have I said that? I think you guys get the idea. So I'm just going to dot some of this onto my face here, just right down the center and on my cheeks, and kind of just where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. And then I'm just going to leave whatever is left over on my hand because I'm going to bring that down my neck later. I'm just going to take this side of the sponge here and just start to pat this into my skin. Alright, so I'm just going to tap whatever is left on my hand onto the sponge, and I'm going to bring it down my neck. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and conceal, and I'm just going to be using a little bit of my Too Faced Born This Way concealer just on the inner corners of my eyes where I tend to have the most darkness, and then I'm going to blend that out towards that outer corner of my eye. I'm not going to use too much concealer. Like I said, I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep this look a little bit lighter today, so I'm just going to put this where I absolutely need it, which is just going to be right in this area right here. And then I'm just going to take this side of my sponge here and just go in and blend this out. Working on taking it all the way from that inner corner to the outer corner. And then also, because I don't like how that looks there, I like to bring it down a little bit just to make sure that it just blends in well with that foundation and that it kind of brightens this whole area instead of just that under eye there. And of course, I'm going to bring this onto my lid to act as a primer today. Also making sure I get the very inner corner of my eye because that's where I tend to have a lot of darkness, is right in here. So if I conceal everywhere around there, I still feel like I have darkness, because I do, because I didn't cover it up. So just making sure I get that whole eye area. My voice just cracked like I'm a teenage boy going through puberty, so that's how my day's going. Okay, so now that we have kind of this base down here, I'm going to go in and do some bronzer and blush and highlight. I'm kind of following the same look I did in my last tutorial just because this has been like my go-to combo of face products. I've been loving using creams and liquids and kind of just more creamy products that I can really focus on pushing into the skin because I feel like it looks a lot more natural, where I can push my makeup into my skin rather than kind of just laying powders over top. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to be using some cream bronzer, and my favorite cream bronzer of all time is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel cream bronzer. This stuff is $50, however, I've had this for years. I've barely made a dent in it, and I genuinely think it's worth the price just because it's so beautiful. So if you are able to, I would highly recommend trying this out or picking this up. It is a game changer. I personally prefer to use an angled kabuki brush with this just because it's synthetic. I can get right in that area and I feel like I have a lot of control over the product. My favorite brush to use is the Sigma Angled Kabuki F84 brush. This combo is like my power couple. I swear I live by this combination. I have the hiccups and this is really inconvenient. So I just like to tap the brush into the product, and then I sometimes just go in and kind of just tap off a little bit of that excess onto the back of my hand, and then I will go in and make sure my hair is out of my way because that's not cute, and I'm just going to focus on pushing this right into this area here, kind of blending it right into that cheekbone and then slightly upwards, just to kind of get that general bronzing. I'm going to focus this on the perimeters of my face, so I'm going to focus it right through here. I'm also going to bring it a little bit down my neck because no one wants a floating face. That's not cute. We don't have time for that. So I just make sure to bring everything down my neck so that everything is cohesive. It's like one whole thing and it's not like my face and then my neck. No one wants that. We don't need that kind of negativity in our lives, ladies and gents. And I'm kind of just pushing that back into my hairline. And once again, just bringing it down my neck here, my jawline, and then down my neck. Also, see how there's like a disconnect right there? Yeah. You want to make sure you get everything. You don't want that, because God forbid I were to pull my hair up. I'm not trying to out myself to the whole world. Now this Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Perk, I don't know what shade this is in. I have no idea. I'll leave that down below. This product has been a go-to for me. It just looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. I just love it so much, and you can definitely build it up. This is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Perk. I'm not sure what shade this is in, so I will have that down below. But I just like taking this on a stippling brush. This is the BH Cosmetics No. 9 brush. I just kind of run it across like this, and then I just go in and stipple it right onto my cheeks. I just feel like it just gives the most natural, beautiful, rosy glow. Sometimes I feel like with powdered blushes, it is really easy to get carried away, and I feel like they can just look like you have blush on, and it kind of just looks a little bit artificial in a sense, where when using a cream product, it just blends so nicely into the skin and to the rest of the products that you have on your face. So I feel like it just looks that much more natural, which is why I've been using a lot of creams lately. I've just been about it. Okay, I'm living my best cream life. That's really weird. I'm sorry I said that. We need some liquid highlighter in our lives, and I have been obsessed with these Morphe liquid luster drops lately just because they are so weightless. They blend so nicely into the skin, and they are super versatile. A lot of times liquid highlighter can be super versatile, but because this is actually a liquid, not a cream, I feel like it just blends that much better with other products, whether I'm mixing it in with my foundation or layering it over top. It's just super weightless, buildable, and so glowy and gorgeous. I do have all of the shades here. I bought like the little pack that came out, and I don't really know what shade I want to use today. The two that I've been using the most are the shade Strobe, which is this pinkier shade right here, and then I've also been loving the shade Optic, which is more of a golden glow. We already know that I'm all about my golden glows. Then there's also the shade Flare and the shade Flash. I will definitely be using these, however they are a little bit darker, and since I am pretty fair right now, I feel like that just will be a little bit too dark of a highlight for me. So if you do have a darker skin tone, these will look beautiful beautiful on you, and I hope to be using these in the summer. But right now I've kind of just been sticking with Optic and Flash, or I'm sorry, Optic and Strobe. And I think I'm going to be using Strobe today to just go along with that pinky glow that we have going on, and this has been like a really good highlighter for spring for me. I've just been about the pinks lately, which is weird because I actually hate pink. I'm really not a fan. I don't know why, it's just not my thing. But I'm just going to take a little bit, put some onto the back of my hand here, not too much because you really don't need a lot. And I'm just going to take that on my fingers and just start to kind of tap this into my upper cheekbone area here. See how just dewy and glowy that looks? I'm just like, girl, I'm here for it. So now that my face is fully creamed, that just, whoo girl, that did not sound right. Now that my face has everything on it, I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna go in and use some powders to just set everything in place and to just enhance everything a little bit more. I usually generally use about 3 or 4 powders on my face. I will use a translucent powder under my eyes and down my T-zone just to mattify and kind of just set everything in place so that it doesn't move. And then I will usually use a bronzer, blush, and highlight just over where I put everything, once again to enhance it and to have it set in place all day long. You can totally just use or just leave kind of creams and liquids on your face. However, they are going to slide, they are going to move around because you're not setting it down with anything over top of it. So that is just something to keep in mind. My favorite translucent powder ever is actually the RCMA No Color powder, which I do keep in my Laura Mercier container just because it's convenient. I have used a Laura Mercier I have used a Laura Mercier powder in the past. However, I honestly don't like the price point and it is a little bit too mattifying for my skin. I feel like it really kind of enhances the fine lines under my eyes and I'm just not about that. It is about $40 for this container where I get the same amount of product, if not more, with my RCMA No Color powder, and it's only $12. So obviously that's kind of a no-brainer there. I would love to try the Laura Mercier Glowy setting powder that she has. I just haven't gotten around to buying that, and I'm trying to save money, so the struggle has been real. I am just going to go in and use this sponge to both blend out my under eye and use this to set my powder, or to put my powder on. I always like to blend out my under eye before setting it, just because once you set your makeup, that's how it's gonna look, and I don't want to set any fine lines into my under eye there. I love using a damp sponge to set my makeup because it does add a little bit more moisture back into the skin. It kind of takes away a little bit from that powdery feel, and I feel like I can just really push it into the skin, where if I'm going in with a brush, I feel like I'm kind of just sweeping it over the surface, and if I want my makeup to stay all day long, I know that I gotta push that shit in there. I gotta pack it on. So that is a tip. It's been a game changer for me, so I highly recommend it if you have not gotten around or tried it before. Try it out. I'm also just going to take some of this powder and, like I said, just bring it right down my T-zone. That is where I tend to get a little bit more oily and where my makeup tends to move a little bit more. So I just want to make sure that I'm setting this in place here and kind of just making sure that it stays and doesn't slide, because that's not cute. I can't get a boyfriend if my face is sliding around, okay? I also can't get a boyfriend if I'm weird like I am, but take me as I am or leave, but don't leave because I'm trying to get my watch time up, so just stick around. Okay, now we're gonna go in and bronze. I've been loving 2 bronzers lately. One is a bit more high-end. This is the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer. I have mine in the shade 00. As you can see, it's just a super light bronzer. It does have a little bit of a red undertone to it, but it's not too red for me, so I really like this. I feel like I can build it up and have kind of like just a bronzier glow. Obviously, it's a bronzer. And then I also love the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This might be my all-time favorite bronzer. It's drugstore, it smells really good, and it's just so beautiful and natural on the skin. I especially love pairing it with that Chanel Cream bronzer. I just feel like they work really well together, so this will be the bronzer that I'm using today. I've obviously really loved this product. I've hit pan quite a long time ago, so that's how you know. That's how you know the love is real. I like to switch up what brush I apply bronzer with, and honestly, I can't lie, my brushes need to be cleaned, so I've been using this JH06 brush. It's kind of like an angled, almost like a blush brush, if you will. It's not super dense, so I feel like you can kind of just really go in and buff product around, so I've been really liking this. I'm just going to swirl this into this bronzer here, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to go in and put this right in this area where we used that cream bronzer. Bringing it through this area as well. down here, just all in that general area. And also when I get tan, the tip of my nose gets a little bit tan, so I kind of like to run this along this area here just to be like, oh, I'm tan, I'm cute, whatever. Even though I'm not, I'm so pale, it hurts, but it's, my life's a hot mess. I am just going to take my StansOut Beauty Sponge and just use this flat edge right here. I'm going to put some product on there, tap off the excess because I don't need that much. And I am just going to run this right below my bronzer. This is just going to help to clean up that area and kind of just, you know, contour without contouring. For blush today, I'm going to dip into my Morphe Pop of Coral Blush Trio, and I think I'm going to be using the shade Boss today. It's just this beautiful light pink shade, and I am just going to apply that with my, what brush is this? This is the JH04 brush. This is my favorite blush brush. I actually really love the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brush collection. I just love all of the brushes. They're perfect. They really did a good job. So I'm just going to pat this. I don't really like to kind of go in and swirl it around. I feel like I have a little bit more control if I kind of just go in and pat this on. I can see how much product I want to put on and where I want to put it. I always tap off the excess because too much blush is not cute. It doesn't look good on me. I'm not about it. So I always kind of go in with a little bit because you can always build up more product. It's hard to kind of go in and take it away. You can go in with a powdered brush if you do use too much blush or too much of any kind of face powder and kind of erase it, but I just like to kind of go in and build it up slowly but surely. For highlight, I do love this Morphe highlighter in the shade Spark. It has a little bit of a pinkier undertone to it, but saying as I just used that in my last video, I think I'm going to be reaching for my Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Pearlized Highlighter. This is in the shade Lunch Money. I love this so much. And once again, I'm going to be using my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH09 brush. This is just like the perfect highlighting brush in my opinion. I kind of just go in and tap this because this product does have a little bit of like a spongy or like a little bit more of a moussey kind of texture to it. It's definitely not a powder, so I feel like I just get a lot more product if I kind of go in and tap it into the pan rather than swirl it around. I'm just going to put this right where you would normally put highlight and where I put that liquid highlighter. Just to add a little bit of like a sheen, a glow. Like I said, we're here for it. I'm about it. Okay, so now that the skin has been taken care of, we're gonna go in and I'm kind of low-key gonna bathe in this Morphe Continuous Setting Mist just to push everything together, set everything down, and make sure that I add a little bit more hydration to my skin. I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to skip this and just kind of do this off camera because I do have a brow tutorial and I feel like it gets repetitive. So if you want to see how I fill in my brows, I will leave a link to that in the description down below. But I'm going to fill in my brows and I will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the eyes. I'm going to focus on keeping today's eye look relatively light. I'm not going to do any kind of crazy wing or use any kind of crazy dark colors. I do definitely want to add definition in my crease in my outer corner, but I do, like I said, want to keep this look a little bit on the lighter side, a little bit more of a daytime makeup look. So I'm going to be dipping into my Bretman Rock and Colourpop Lit Palette. I love this palette. It is so beautiful. It offers the most beautiful warm shades. I feel like this is underrated. I feel like it's not talked about enough. These shades are beautiful and they're super blendable and pigmented, and I'm about it. I love this palette. So I'm going to be picking up my Morphe M518 brush in the shade Period, and I'm going to focus that in my crease area, slowly blending it up towards my transition area once there's little to no product left on the brush. And I'm also slightly going to bring this onto that outer corner just to give myself an idea of the shape that I'm going for. Now picking up my Morphe R37 brush, I'm going to be taking the shade Cleo Amore, and I'm going to focus this in that transition area using a lighter hand with this because it is super pigmented, and I do love this shade. However, I just want a light wash of it in that transition area. Now I'm going to dip into the shade Macchiato. This is one of my favorite shades from this palette. It's just a super beautiful, deep, kind of almost mauve-y shade, I feel like. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's bomb. I'm going to take my Morphe JH40 brush to apply this. I'm going to focus this through my crease and my outer corner area, just as a little bit of a cut crease. I'm not going to build this up so that it's super dark because, like I said, I want to keep this look relatively light, but I do just want to add a little bit of extra definition in those areas. Now I'm just going to use my Morphe white concealer and my Morphe M224 brush, and I'm going to use this to do a little bit of a half cut crease. This is more so to clean up the lid than to actually cut the crease, just because I'm going to be using a shimmery shade and I want it to come out true to tone. Now I'm going to take the shade Bading, and I'm going to spray this with some Morphe Continuous Setting Mist just to give it a little bit more of a foiled effect. And with a flat shadow brush, I'm just going to pack that onto the lid where I put that white concealer. All I'm going to do now is I left a little bit of space in between this lid shade and the very outer corner. I'm going to go in with that very first shade we used in the shade Period, and I'm going to focus this in that area, and then right next to that I'm just going to blend a little bit of that yellow shade just so that we have a nice transition from this inner corner to that outer corner, and I just feel like kind of reincorporating those shades that we have in the crease back onto the lid. Okay, so now I am going to go in and put a little bit of black shadow onto my lash line. Because I'm not doing liner today, I want to add a little bit of definition to that area, and also it's just going to help to conceal the lash band once we go in with lashes later. So I'm just going to pick up any black shadow. I'm just going to be dipping into my Sultry palette. I'm going to take the shade Noir right here with a flat shader brush or a flat definer brush. I'm just going to go in and pack that right along my lash line and slightly buff it out. I'm just going to put on a quick coat of mascara. I will be using my Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara today to prep my lashes for falsies. For false lashes, I will be using these Coloupop Cosmetics lashes in the style Queen. These are so beautiful. They have such a beautiful wispy effect to them, and I feel like you can definitely use them with either more natural or more dramatic looks. You guys know I love Coloupop Cosmetics, and I do have a coupon code with them, so if you're interested in trying any of their lashes, you can use the code BRICK20 at checkout to save 20%. And I will be doing a lash tutorial soon showing you guys how to apply lashes and some of my favorite styles from them, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm just going to trim these and then pop these on to my lashes. Okay, so now that I have the lashes on, I'm going to go in and do some liner, and I think I'm going to be using a white liner today just to kind of enhance the eyes, open them up a little bit more, and add to that kind of fresh-faced, fresh glow kind of look. I will be using my Morphe liner in the shade Coconut. Like I said, this is just a white liner. I'm just going to run this in my lower waterline. To finish off the lower lash line, I'm going to be taking the shade Period right here, and I'm going to push that up against my lower lash line and then slightly blend it out with this Cleo Amore shade. I am just going to put a quick coat of mascara into my lower lashes here. For my lips today, I'm just going to keep it simple and do a nude gloss. I'm going to line my lips with my Morphe lip liner in the shade Backseat Love, and then I will be applying my Dior Lip Maximizer. This is just in the nude shade. I love this gloss. It is so beautiful and it's minty, which I freaking love. So lastly, to finish off this look, I'm just going to dip into my Sultry palette, and I'm going to take the shade Pearl right here, and I'm going to focus this on my inner corner and my brow bone to highlight. Alright you guys, so this completes today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. That helps me out so much more than you know. It helps to get my videos out there. Also, if you aren't already subscribed, click that button down below and join this fam we've got here on YouTube, as well as the bell button so you get notified when I upload and you can see all my videos. If you guys want to see more spring tutorials, let me know down below and leave any comments letting me know what you thought of this look or kind of what palettes or colors you want to see me use next, or if you have any video ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching, and with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.